जय श्री राम दोस्तों। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। Welcome back to my Vedic astrology channel, Astro Satyajit on YouTube. And today you would have already seen the title of our interaction, of our live interaction today. So we are going to talk about a very interesting and topic, and many of us might are aspiring, or they wish that they could with their contribution in this lifetime, leave a legacy behind. You know, that's what we call as being a legend, becoming a legend. So through Vedic astrology, through your Vedic horoscope, yes, we can, understand that in this lifetime, are you blessed with performing karmas or certain tasks which will ensure that you leave a legacy and you become one of those legends. I would request all my viewers to please, stay connected till the end of this interaction, because what happens at times, a title is limited. I'm only able to write a certain title while I'm, coming live for an interaction on YouTube. However, during this whole interaction, because these are live interactions, these are not scripted and written. So, I try and share my entire learning and knowledge for the last 23 plus years, okay, with you guys. And might be there are, certain important aspects that we cover in between our interaction. I'll also be taking few, questions of my live viewers, and yes, I will try and pick up a couple of charts, and we'll try and answer questions that they might have for me. So please stay with me. And if you've still not subscribed to my channel, if you really like my interactions videos, I would request you to like them, share them, subscribe to my channel. And let's now come back to our very interesting and important topic, which is about leaving a legacy and how to understand that are we going to become that legend in this lifetime through Vedic astrology. Okay. Now, the moment I say that you leave a legacy behind, you become a legend, we all understand that it has to be the karma, it has to be the contribution that we make in society, it has to be the work, any field of work we may be associated with. Our contributions, our work ensures that we build a legacy, or we are able to leave a legacy behind. We become that legend in this lifetime. So somewhere, the moment we are referring to leaving a legacy behind, friends, in this Kali Yuga, we are talking about immortality. Okay. We are all mortal selves. Yes. One day we all will perish. It's only the Atman which is immortal in this whole mortal body. You know, uh, One day, finally, the mortal body, which is the sharir, the manas, which is the mind, the buddhi, which is the intelligence, all these three will perish. Okay. The only immortal thing within us is the Atman, is the soul. Now, if we are referring to leaving a legacy behind, if we want to become a legend, we are talking somewhere that we will become immortal in this Kali Yuga, in this mortal world. So that means you will be still alive, and your work will continue to make an impact on this world, to this society. You will be remembered. You will be somewhere part of those history books. You will be all across the internet, and your work and contribution will be read by people. Maybe your teachings will continue to spread even when you are not there. Your contributions and work will continue to be appreciated even when you're not there. Your contribution or whatever you made will continue to support many families even when you're not there. So, becoming a legend and becoming immortal can be associated with those industrialists, those business tycoons who build an industry, and even when they are not there, they remain with us. That industry continues to support millions of lives. Okay. If you are somebody in art, if you're somebody in the sports field, if you're someone in politics, even when you're not there, you will be remembered, discussed. So it's those are the people who are referred to as legends, right? These are the ones who have left a legacy behind. So the moment we are referring to being immortal or being alive even after death, the most important house in our Vedic horoscope has to be the eighth house, guys. Eighth house refers to as life after death or the journey after death. If you have to become immortal, if you have to become a legend, there has to be a strong eighth house in your Vedic horoscope. The eighth house has to make those strong connections in your chart with maybe the ascendant, maybe your ninth house lord, your 10th house lord. We'll come to all those discussions. Okay, we have just touched on a very vast topic, but the base of becoming a legend, of becoming immortal in this mortal world, of leaving a legacy, it has to start from the contribution of the eighth house, the eighth house lord, because eighth house is all about the journey beyond death, life after death. We all understand that when we discuss these nine planets in Vedic astrology, the two luminaries, sun and moon, the five planets, and the two chaya grahas or the shadow planets, Rahu and Ketu, if we have to talk about immortality, there has to be definitely the first planet. I'm not saying the only, because, I would come back to another planet which makes a key difference. Okay. The first planet is the most important one, no doubts about it. But there is another key planet which plays a very vital role. And at times, you know, those are those minute details which are only available or present in really a legends chart, and they are not found otherwise, in this world that easily. Otherwise, we would have had multiple legends around us. We have limited legends because there are limited people who can contribute at such a higher level through their work. So the first planet has to be Venus, guys. Shukracharya is the only planet who has Sanjeevani Vidya. Okay. It is only Shukracharya or Venus who can make the dead alive. So Shukracharya, the guru, the teacher of the Asuras, had this Sanjeevani Vidya, which even the Dev Guru Brihaspati does not have. It's only Shukracharya who has the capability or the competency to really make dead alive. In this mortal world, if you wish to, if you aspire to, if you dream to be alive, even after you are dead, because we can't change this whole concept of immortality. We have not been given the nectar. We have not tasted Amrit. We do not have Amrit there. We have to die one day in this Kali Yuga, in this Janma. However, if we want to remain immortal, so that means our contributions, our name should remain, our work should be remembered, talked about, our teachings should remain, our contribution to the society should remain. That means there has to be a connection that Shukracharya or Venus makes with your eighth house. If you do not have some kind of connection which Venus is making with your eighth house, or Venus is making with your eighth house Lord, you cannot become a legend. I don't want to sound like people who claim, in different astrological reels, but this is a fact, guys. There are certain points, or there are certain binary principles of Vedic astrology. So it's either a zero or a one. So it's either a yes or a no. And if in your chart, or if anyone's chart, if Venus is not making a connection with the eighth house Lord, or if Venus is not making a connection with the eighth house, you cannot become a legend. You are not destined to get Amratya in this Janma. You will not be remembered for ages after you die. So your contributions cannot be that large and that immense that you're remembered for ages and generations post you not being physically there in this world. So I hope it's very clear that the first thing that you will check in your chart, in your loved one's chart, that is Venus making some connection with your eighth house, or is Venus making a connection with your eighth house Lord? Now, there are two ascendants which will have a slight edge over the others if Venus happens to become your eighth house Lord. So it's possible either if Taurus falls in your eighth house, which is ruled by Venus, Vrishabha Rashi is ruled by Venus, or if Libra falls in your eighth house. If Libra falls in your eighth house, you will be a Pisces ascendant individual. Your Lagna will be main Lagna. Your Lagna or your ascendant will be Pisces rising. And only it's possible for a Pisces ascendant individual to have Libra in their eighth house. Now, this qualifies where Venus gets to become your eighth house Lord. Or if you are a Libra ascendant, again you have Taurus in the eighth house. So Venus owns your eighth house. So out of these two ascendants, okay, I'm not saying the other 10 ascendants are not destined to, or they can't become legends, they can't become immortal through their contribution, through their work. I'm just saying because by default, Venus has the ownership of the eighth house, or Venus itself becomes the eighth house Lord. So the first tick is by default available that yes, Venus is having a connection with the eighth house, or Venus is having a connection with the eighth house Lord. So in the cases of both Libra and Pisces ascendant, Venus itself is becoming the eighth house Lord. So invariably that rule gets ticked. I hope I'm making sense, guys. Radhe Radhe. I am doing absolutely great. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, once we look at the connection Venus has been able to establish in our individual horoscopes with the eighth house or the eighth house Lord, there is another very important planet which can't be ignored. You can't only be happy to see a well-placed Venus in your horoscope, and that too making a connection with your eighth house or the eighth house Lord, and you think that, yes, this is the lifetime which will give me an opportunity to become a real legend, to leave a legacy. We'll come to the karma. Apurva, for sure we'll come to the karma. See, if somebody's chart talks about that he or she is supposed to become a legend, or they have the potential of becoming a legend, then the bhagya also will give them certain karmas, or will define certain karmas that they are supposed to perform in this janma, in this birth, in this lifetime. And through those work, through those karmas, through those contributions, they start their journey towards building a legacy. And through a lot of efforts, through a lot of hardship, through a lot of sacrifices, you know, you have to let go of a lot of things. See, the moment I connect immortality with eighth house, please appreciate eighth house, or the eighth house Lord is the planet which gives us mrityu tulya kasht, or it gives us obstacles. The biggest obstacles, the biggest barriers, the biggest beating that you may get in this lifetime is through your eighth house Lord. So, many of us might not even wish to become a legend, or maybe some of us might not wish our children to have those indications of becoming a legend, because a legend has their share of misfortunes, has their share of struggles, obstacles, real pains that they go through. There's a lot that they lose. It's all about just giving. It's about, let go. Okay, letting go. And then is when you're a giver. A legend is a giver. A legend is not a receiver, guys. The material thing, the money, the wealth, they're all byproducts. When you're contributing, you're giving. Okay. So, yes, we will definitely come to the work. And Apuva, I appreciate your question. Jupiter in the eighth house, or a exalted Jupiter in the eighth house, is a blessing. See, these two gurus, either Venus or Jupiter, they will fare well in the eighth house. Understand this. They will have their share of struggles. Okay. They will give us those obstacles, those mrityu tulya kasht. Because see, the moment you have planets in the eighth house, they all add to that list. They all add to the list of planets who can give us obstacles, pains in this janma. Because not just planets, even planets which gets associated through conjunction, through mutual aspect with the eighth house Lord, also become competent to give us results of the eighth house, which is again transformation, regeneration. It's like rebirth. So when you are to be born again, you have to die once. Remember, you have to die to be born again. Everything will be gone and given before you start, on that transformation, on that transformative journey. Even planets who are placed in the nakshatra of the eighth house Lord in your respective horoscope will give you those struggles and pains in their respective antardasha and pratyantardasha. Mark this. Planets which are in the nakshatra of the eighth house Lord in your respective horoscope are capable, are competent to give us those struggles, those pains, those mrityu tulya kasht during their antardasha, during their pratyantardasha. And yes, The whole scheme gets even bigger if those planets are running in the Mahadasha. However, the Mahadasha, is a much broader thing, and a 20-year period or a 19-year or a 17, 16, or even a 6-year Sun Mahadasha can't be the same throughout the entire 6 years. So more important role is not just, there's something that gets defined. The rule is set by the Mahadasha Lord, but those things get manifested according to the Antardasha and the Pratyantardasha Lord, which is running in your respective Mahadashas. Now, when I said, sacrifices, you have to, uh, there's a lot that you have to let go. There's a lot that you have to sacrifice. You have to die to be reborn again. And that is how you will be able to become a legend in this lifetime. It sounds as a very exciting title, guys. It sounds like we are only talking about and discussing about billionaires, and we are talking about film stars, and we are talking about, international sports persons. And yes, we are. But we have to also understand and appreciate their journey, their hardships, their other struggles in maybe different phases of the different aspects of their life that they go through, to reach what all they lost, what all they had to give up for a higher cause. Now, okay, yesterday, while we were doing our live interaction, I introduced you for the first time to this whole new concept of real Jyotish, where I said Jyotish tells us the karma which you are supposed to perform in this Janma. And once you perform the karma as per the Almighty, because Almighty will not come to us and we can't talk to him face to face, and you can't have that dialogue with him where he exactly tells you. So we are not as blessed as Arjuna that Sri Krishna becomes my Sarthi and he comes and tells me face to face, hey Arjuna, do this. In this Kali Yuga, in this Yuga, we mortal selves have to understand through Vedic astrology what the Vidhata, what Sri Hari, what Mahadev has told us, what are the karmas he has told us to perform, and that is through Vedic astrology, that is through our Vedic horoscope. So while I was just talking about this sacrifice and this, you have to be reborn and you have to die to be reborn again, there's a concept called bhagya, and that's the first word. It all begins from bhagya, it all ends at bhagya. Bhagya is the word because of which we are all either attached as astrology enthusiasts, or we start learning, reading astrology. What takes us, what brings us to astrology? Every one of us wants to know what is in our bhagya. You all agree to this, right? Now, when I say we all want to understand what is in our bhagya, so the easy way is people say bhagya is fate, bhagya is destiny. So what's destined is bhagya. Okay. Now, if things are predestined, okay, then my whole concept that I discussed yesterday, that if everything was predestined, pre-written by God, that this is exactly what you will do, this is exactly what you will not do, this is exactly what will happen when, then all similar combinations would have given same kind of results to different individuals. We hide behind that Deshkal Parasthiti. But the reality is the Vedic horoscope is only telling us what is the work to be performed, and then that is up to Almighty, the Vidhata, to give us the results of that work and when. Now, when I was talking about Bhagya, and see, okay, we were supposed to discuss legends, guys, but please, be with me because now something very important, and this is really, really important for us to understand and appreciate what's Bhagya. The easy way that we have understood red since ages, Bhagya is destiny, it's God's will, it's God's grace, it's fortune. But there's a perspective, my perspective, Astrosatyajit or Satyajit's perspective. There are two words which I see when I read the word or when I get to hear the word Bhagya. Bhag and Yagya. I said two words, Bhag and Yagya. When you join Bhag and Yagya, then Bhagya is formed. Now, what is Bhag? Bhag means my share, Bhag means a portion, Bhag means that share. And Yagya, the Yagnas, the Yagyas that, uh, the fire rituals, the sacrifices that were made through rishis for the kings, okay, the yagnas that were getting performed to please the gods in the heavens, okay. So yagna or yagya is those sacrifices or the work that we are supposed to do. Whatever I'm just saying it in Hindi, and then I'll absolutely, for my English audience, again, repeat that, I reiterate that in English. But because we are using two Sanskrit words here, or I'm breaking it up and then bringing it together. So भाग्य वो है दोस्तों, विधाता ने हमारे भाग में जो यज्ञ लिखे हैं वो है भाग्य। विधाता ने हमारे भाग में जो यज्ञ लिखे हैं वो भाग्य है। उसका मतलब विधाता ने इस जन्म में हमारे को, हमारे भाग में, हमारे शहर में जो काम, जो कर्म, जो यज्ञ सारे लिख के हमें दिए हैं थ्रू आर वैदिक हॉरोस्कोप, वो और कुछ नहीं, वही हमारा भाग्य है। दैट मीन्स whatever the Almighty, whatever Mahadev, Sri Hari has included in our share, the work, the yagna, the contribution, the sacrifices, whatever he has allotted in our bhag, in our share in this lifetime, is bhagya. Now, you please appreciate bhagya in this perspective from now on. Bhagya is not passive, guys. It has to be through active participation of our karma. Only then bhagya gets manifested. So, again, it's the yagya that is in our portion, in our share in this lifetime is our bhagya. Okay. Good evening, good evening. Now I'll again come back to our topic of legends. I just gave my perspective to Bhagya, and I would really want you people to understand this, and maybe through you will realize it, or you can ponder on this, that is it really Bhagya is a passive thing, or is it really through active participation, through our contribution, through our sacrifices, through our work? So again, the same principle that I was talking in our yesterday's interaction. You have to perform those karmas, you have to perform those yagyas, you have to do those sacrifices. And whatever God has given you, the task to be performed in this lifetime is your bhagya. Now, other than Venus, I was referring to a very, very important planet which plays a role of we being competent, of being a legend, or to leave a legacy behind or not. How can we forget the eighth house lord of the Kalpurush Kundali? It has to invariably contribute or have a connection in this lifetime, in your particular Vedic horoscope, with your Lagna, with your Lagnesh, with your eighth house or with your eighth house Lord. So if you have Venus, Mars, Mars becomes the by default ascendant Lord and the eighth house Lord in the Kalpurush Kundali. Okay. So the mortal Sharir, the universal mortal Sharir is universally all mortal Sharirs are to be represented by Mars, because Mars happens to be the first house lord or the ascendant lord of the Kalpurush Kundali. And this life after death, through transformation, you are reborn. The eighth house, again, Scorpio happens to be the eighth house of the Kalpurush Kundali. So you have to have that connection getting established in your respective charts or in the chart of your loved ones, of Venus and Mars, both simultaneously in the same horoscope, making a connection with each other, making a connection with the Lagna, or making a connection with the eighth house. This makes you immortal. This makes you that legendary figure. This makes you that real legend. We will cover other minute details also. We will look at the strength of the Lagna Lord. We will have to look at the strength of the 10th house Lord, which is about honor, respect, our status. We have to have a strong ascendant Lord, because if the ascendant Lord is depleted in strength, then this whole person who has to become immortal, you know, will struggle, because somebody who becomes a legend, he gets famous. He gets worldly fame, okay? National, international fame. So that means the ascendant Lord, the ascendant and the 10th house equally will be strong. There'll be good yogas, certain Raj yogas getting formed. There are even other ways. We'll have to even go to the Shashtiyamsha. So what I'll do is, I don't intend to give it all in just one maybe interaction, because then it becomes an overdose. Okay. So today I will pull up any example chart, and rather I remember, if we all look at Mahatma Gandhi's chart, okay, father of the nation, there are very few people who have attained immortality of such a higher level that Mahatma Gandhi remains with us, with every individual who at least resides or stays in India. Okay. So we 1.5 billion people of India, we keep Mahatma Gandhi with us, definitely in one form, which is the currency. You know, I'm not making it a political or a discussion, but we all agree that there are numerous legends which the world has given, or maybe India has produced. But Mahatma Gandhi is one legend, and there's no dispute about his immortality. And today, if there's one small aspect which I discussed, Venus, Mars being strong and making a connection through your eighth house. So Mahatma Gandhi is one individual, friends, who is a Libra ascendant individual. Okay. And he has Venus, Mercury, and Mars in the Lagna. in the Libra Lagna. Understand, Libra ascendant with the ascendant Lord Venus in the first house in its own Mool Trikon Rashi, the ninth house Lord, the Bhagya Lord, Mercury in the ascendant in conjunction with Venus, and Mars, who otherwise becomes a Prabal Markesh, because Mars in a Libra ascendant's individual's chart has ownership of the second house and the seventh house. So the Prabal Markesh is also there in the ascendant. Understand this. Now, being a Libra ascendant, by default, Venus has an association with the eighth house because Venus happens to be the eighth house lord. The eighth house lord has a strong connection with the Lagna because the Lagna lord and simultaneously the eighth house lord is sitting in the Lagna itself. Mars is also making a connection with the Lagna as well as the eighth house because Mars is sitting in the Lagna. So there is a connection Mars has established, the universal Lagnesh, the universal ascendant lord. So Mars becomes the ascendant lord of the Kalpurush Kundli, which starts from Aries. That Mars is sitting in the first house in Mahatma Gandhi's horoscope and making a connection with the eighth house also because it is conjunct with the eighth house Lord Venus. And Mahatma Gandhi has Moon and Rahu in his 10th house. So Moon is in Cancer, Kark Rashi, Aslesha Nakshatra. So the 10th house Lord is in the 10th house. The Lagna Lord is in the Lagna. The 8th house Lord also in the Lagna, making a connection with the Lagna. The 8th house Lord making a connection with the Bhagya Lord, and the 8th house Lord making a connection with both Venus and Mars. This is that classic textbook combination of immortality. Hence, we have only one Mahatma Gandhi. There are not many who have been able to achieve immortality of that fashion. There are many legends, but just imagine the kind of immortality that he has been blessed in this lifetime, in this life. So now relate. This textbook combination is available in Mahatma Gandhi's horoscope. So guys, I will stage or hold this discussion today, and definitely I will come again live and I will definitely take questions of people tomorrow. Please excuse me for today. And I would request every viewer, every subscriber, everyone who, clicks on this video, please listen to this video a couple of times and listen from the very start to the finish. These are not those mere, real-like interactions where I'm just trying to give you a certain rule of astrology and trying to excite you with it. No, I'm trying to share my learnings, what real Jyotisha is. And while we are doing these live interactions, there are certain points. Maybe I have not thought that I'll be touching on these points, but just during our discussion, something comes up. So the whole concept of bhagya, the yagya in our bhag, uh, you know, I just shared it. So please, all my viewers who are yet not my subscribers, do subscribe to my channel. Help me grow this family of Astrosatyajit on YouTube. Help me expand it. Please support me through liking my videos, through sharing my videos with different astrology enthusiasts, through sharing my videos in different forums. And I would again meet you tomorrow. So God bless you all. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Jai